So Cymatics just came out with a new free plugin. It's called Origin. This is it. They call it a vintage plugin. If you've ever used Isotope Vinyl or RC20, it's kind of the same type of thing. They have all these different lo-fi parameters that you can mess with. One of my favorite things they have is all the different types of background vinyl noise that you can add. I used it to make this beat, and I'm going to get into all the different things I did with it to make the sounds sound how they did. But let's get into it. I started out just with the Cymatics loop. This is how it sounds without any effects on it. So kind of weird. I started out with just an OTT. So you can see it's a little multi-band compressor with a little depth. The next thing I did was add Origin on the just Origin setting. I don't think I did anything to it. I just threw it on and it just sounded cool. So you can see what it does to it. I'll start with that and then add it in. It's just a lot more, I don't know, full, just lush. Sounds cool to me. And the last thing I did was add a phaser. Alright, the next thing I did was chop up this other harp loop, which it sounds kind of weird by itself, but here it is when I add it to the main one. Just adds like these layers jumping around. Kind of cool, you know. Clap. And normally I would never put these plugins on the clap, but I did use Origin on the clap, and I put it on the OG Kush setting. It sounded cool to me, and I think I used this resample frequency. I moved it up a little bit, so here's how it was before. So I guess that's, you know, if you want it a little bit crispier, you put it more to the right. That's how I thought it sounded cool. Let's see, what was the next thing I added? Just a little hi-hats. And since this is kind of a very like out there, really kind of laid back lo-fi beat, these are all kind of off the grid. If I zoom in, you can see a lot of these are not exactly straight. So that's what gives it that kind of swing, that bounce feel. I also had a little bit of swing going on in the channel rack to add a little more for everything. So I added a kick, and I lightly sidechained pretty much everything to the kick using this bus right here with the fruity limiter. And another free plugin, Fresh Air, is on the sidechain bus also. Just adding a little bit of high end, a little air. So now we got a little vibe. Next thing, percussion. This didn't have anything on it, it's just sidechain. Alright, the next thing I added was this Omnisphere track. This one I had a bunch of different plugins on. I originally had Drip on it, and I think when I started making it, I was like, what am I doing using Drip? I had to change it to Origin. So here it is without Origin. It's also just, you know, a little bit of OTT on it too, just to bring it out. But Origin did a lot for this one. Here it is without it. It's like, it just smoothed it out a ton. This was the next door setting right here. So they got a lot of really cool presets you can use, and I mostly just use those and change them like a tiny bit. So here it is with everything added so far. Next, just this little melody. This is actually the vocal line from a song that I have coming out with Cove soon. And you guessed it, we got Origin, the lo-fi setting straight up on here. And then at this point in the beat, I started getting a little bit more into mixing. And at the end of the day, this clap, it's so lo-fi, it's a little too worn out. So I layered it with these two other ones. So each time it happens, it alternates between this one happening or this one happening. So here's like how the clap sound all together with just the new ones. And they all have Origin on them. They're all doing stuff. Okay. So now that we have these, I added the 808 and I did not put Origin on the 808. Super basic pattern. They kick so busy that I didn't want it to like get in the way of the kick, because that's most of the bounce with the side chain and everything. And then, it was playing, I didn't even realize this last bell, just little counter melody, you know. And the last thing was just this cool little percussion thing I added, and to make that a little bit more interesting, I automated the pan, so it just moves like, just always moving around here. If you have headphones on, you can kind of see it's like in that ear now, it's like moving over to here. So, and that all that background noise that's happening right now on that one is from Origin. It's like all these tracks have that background noise in them, and it's like, you know, vinyl 3, like, see. And that's something that I actually always have had a problem with these plugins, is that stuff, like, it doesn't stop when the notes stop. Like, if that's on and the plugin is like open, it's always on. I wish that wasn't exactly how it is, but that's the only problem I have with it. But they're all like that pretty much. Sometimes I don't have that on, but you can also just automate it if you want it to chill out. But with this beat, it's very like, you know, muddy, like in a good way. Like, that's kind of what I wanted. And with the sidechain on the kick, that kind of like helps everything punch through. So I kind of thought it was cool. Here's the whole beat, but that's Origin. I'll probably keep using it, to be honest. Yeah. Thanks for watching.